5 media lies about the latest special counsel revelations. Before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out. Also, check out the link in the description for all my socials. Um, we got merch. We got Let's Go Brandon t-shirts. I will not comply t-shirts. Check those out. Everything that you purchase will help support this movement we got going on here. Also, check out my Patreon where I talk about things I can't talk about here on YouTube. The link for all that stuff is in my link tree in the description. All right, let's talk about this news. The Durham deniers' talking points remain gibberish. They are furiously attempting to hand wave away the facts the special counsel has found. 1 week ago today, special counsel John Durham filed a motion in the government's criminal case against former Hillary Clinton campaign attorney Michael Sussman. The motion is requesting the court obtain Sussman's waiver of any conflicts of interest held by his lawyers on the record, provided excruciating detail the factual basis for the purported conflicts. In doing so, it revealed that enemies of Donald Trump surveilled the internet traffic at Trump Tower at his New York City apartment building and later at the executive office of the President of the United States, then fed disinformation about the traffic to intelligence agencies, hoping to frame Trump as a Russian-connected stooge. I mean, this was some slick stuff that they tried to pull here. And you know, we've been on top of this since the very beginning of this years ago. It's crazy what's going on here. While earlier filings by Durham has revealed equally explosive facts, this time the special counsel motion generated enough attention that hashtag Durham began to trend on Twitter. Not since the special counsel's office indicted Sussman in September 2021 for lying to the FBI's former general counsel, James Baker, has the Durham investigation forced itself into the legacy press purview. Rather than report on the latest developments, the corrupt media spun Friday filings as a big nothing burger while parading several false narratives, just as it did when news of the indictment of the Clinton campaign lawyer broke. This is what they do every time. It's sickening. It's becoming like, I mean, you come to expect it now whenever some real news break that they try to spin it some type of way in favor of the left. It happens time and time again. But Charlie Savage at the New York Times led the way in a Monday article headline, quote, "Court filing started a furor in right-wing outlets, but their narrative is off track." This is crazy. All you got to do is look at the polls. Most people want the government to look into this. Just look at the polls. Even Democrats, I think it was 60-something% of Democrats want Hillary Clinton investigated. But amazingly, several of Savage's talking points coincided with arguments presented by Sussman's attorney in a document filed with the court that same day. By Tuesday, Vanity Fair had joined in and quoted Savage's analysis. That evening, Jimmy Kimmel turned the talking point into one-liners. Wednesday saw Brian Stelter at CNN further cribbing from the Savage's initial take at the Times. This is how they do. They just send out their marching orders and they all follow suit. While the leftist press continues to fall in line to advance the unofficial defense of the Clinton campaign's former attorney, the talking points that Durham deniers are pushing remain nothing but gibberish. Here they are and why they are wrong. Let's get into these. Number one, it's just those crazy right-wingers. In his opening salvo in Sussman's counter-offensive, Savage began his New York Times column by noting that Durham's Friday night filing set off a furor among right-wing outlets about purported spying on President Donald J. Trump. Framing the furor as right-wing proves a ready go-to for corrupt media seeking to discount the substance of the reporting. Stelter likewise hit this talking point repeatedly over at CNN in his article. Right-wing media said it was exposing a scandal. What it really revealed is how bad information spreads in MAGA world. I mean, these people are repugnant. Hillary Clinton likewise pushed the right wingers' angle, tweeting that, quote, Trump and Fox News are desperately spinning up fake scandals to distract from his real ones. These people are nuts. Of course, while casting coverage of special counsel Durham's investigation as the cries of cray cray conservatives might resonate with their readers as a substantive counter to the most recent revelations in Sussman case, it falls flat. And they have to do this because it will be exposing how corrupt the Democrat Party really is. So they have to run, the media has to run cover for this because this is huge. It's one of the biggest scandals in history, I believe. Spying on a candidate and then the then president. They literally spied on the president of the United States, and I think they're going to get away with it. But let's check out number 2. Pay no attention to the facts behind the filings. The second narrative pushed by Savage and then quickly parroted by his ilk is that the facts behind Durham's most recent court filings are too dense for readers to bother using their brain power to decipher. Yes, I'm serious. The facts, quote, also tend to involve dense and obscure issues, so dissecting them requires asking readers to expend significant mental energy and time, raising the question of whether news outlets should even cover such claims, Savage wrote in his Monday pro bono PR piece. Amazingly, CNN quoted this passage in the coverage issue, demonstrating the utter lack of regard in which the leftist press holds its readers. They think their readers are dumb and can't understand what's going on here. So that's why they was like, well, we shouldn't even cover it all together because our readers are so dumb. So this this is what they think about their readers, and I'm not even gonna comment on that. But this is what they think of their fellow leftists. They think they're stupid and can't even understand what's going on here. So let's not even cover it. Number 3, there was no infiltration, so there is no story. A third counter pushed in response to Durham's Friday court filing focus on Fox News' coverage and its opener that read, quote, lawyers for the Clinton campaign paid a technology company to infiltrate servers belonging to the Trump Tower and later the White House in order to establish an inference and narrative to bring to government agencies linking Donald Trump to Russia, a filing from special counsel John Durham found. Durham never said infiltrate, however, came the rejoinder. At least this point, the press members suffering from media vapors have a point. Durham did not say infiltrate. Rather, Kash Patel, a former chief investigator for Devin Nunes on the House Intelligence Committee, used that word in an interview with Fox News, as the article later explained. Durham said the data Sussman provided to the CIA came from Data Tech executive Rodney Joffe, obtained when he exploited his access to sensitive data from the executive order of the president. Executive Office of the President, EOP. It is likewise true that the special counsel Friday filing did not claim that Clinton campaign paid to infiltrate Trump Tower, White House servers to link Trump to Russia, as Fox News headlined its coverage of the developments in the Sussman case. Rather, it appears that Joffe voluntarily exploited his access to the data and received no compensation from Clinton for the forays into the EOP and other databases. These criticisms by the Times, CNN, and others might hold more weight if the same outlets hadn't pushed the Russia collusion hoax for 5 years. But in any event, correcting those 2 points does nothing to counter the serious allegations revealed in the Durham's latest filings. In fact, he exposed so many significant details that it required 2 separate articles to adequately cover the developments. Notwithstanding the concerted pushback against the Fox News article, the Federalist in-depth coverage remains unblemished. But they're not going to tell you that. They're gonna push their narrative. 4. But Trump wasn't even president yet. The next narrative launched to minimize the significance of the revelations contained in Durham's motion focused on the data Sussman presented to the CIA, purporting to show that Russian-made smartphones called Yoda phones had been connecting to networks at Trump Tower and the White House, among other places. The data related to the White House came from Barack Obama's presidency, the Times reported. quoting two lawyers representing one of the researchers who aided Joffe. Rather, to our knowledge, the lawyers claim all of the data they used was non-private DNS data from before Trump took office. This counter is nothing but lawyerly wordsmithing. However, and anyone who reads the actual court filings, that defense document Savage believed beyond the gray matter of his readers would know that fact. As the motion explained, in providing the DNS data to the CIA, Sussman told the government agents these lookups demonstrated that Trump and or his associates were using supposedly rare Russian-made wireless phones in the vicinity of the White House and other locations. As a matter of pure logic, the data Sussman presented to the CIA related to the White House must have somehow related to Trump, or it would not demonstrate that Trump and or his associates were using the Russian cell phones in the vicinity of the White House. Most likely, then, the data presented concern the transition period. Further, there is nothing to say that after Trump took office, Joffe stopped exploiting the data. You know, they're just making that assumption. 5, it's old news. The fifth response, which Savage again initiated, ran that the news was old news, but the entire narrative appeared to be mostly wrong or old news, Savage wrote early in his Times coverage. He reiterated that point later. For one, quote, for one, much of this was not new. The New York Times had reported in October what Mr. Sussman had told the CIA about the data suggesting that Russian-made smartphones called Yoda phones had been connected to networks at the Trump Tower and the White House, among other places. Surprise, surprise. It was Savage himself who made passing reference to the Yoda phones in his October 1st, 2021. Times article that focused primarily on the Alpha Bank aspect of the indictment. In retrospect, we should have foreseen Durham's latest revelations because they were handed to the Sussman-friendly reporters who penned the October article in what is now an obvious attempt to get ahead of the bad news Sussman legal team knew was coming. They do this all the time. They put out their own, they try to control the narrative before it comes out there. But what the Times did not report on October 1st, 2021, however, was that Joffe's internet company had come to access and maintain dedicated service for the executive office of the president as part of a sensitive arrangement whereby it provided DNS resolution services to the EOP. Nor did the Times report, as Durham alleged, that Joffe and his associates, quote, exploited this arrangement by mining the EOP DNS traffic and other data for the purpose of gathering derogatory information about Donald Trump. Also missing from the October 2021 coverage was the fact that DNS data compiled but withheld from the CIA showed the DNS lookups involved the EOP and the Russian cell phone provider. Quote, begin at least as early as 2014, i.e. during the Obama administration and years before Trump took office. In other words, this was new news, and those claiming otherwise served not as journalists but as pushers of propaganda, which I've always been saying about the mainstream media. They're propagandists. I love what Jared Salente called them. He called them prostitutes because they are being paid to put out this information. But I would say that's that's bad on prostitutes, because at least prostitutes tell you what they intend to do, and these prostitutes, the mainstream media, they lie and pretend that they're on your side and spin stuff and feed you propaganda. But let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out democrepublics.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.